This is how you make six figures, multiple six figures, or even seven figures as a realtor while maintaining work-life balance. What's up, guys? Today we're jumping into this topic, and I know so many of you ask about it and care about it, of how to make a living, how to make a business explode, how to make six, multiple six, even seven figures while still living a balanced life. And let's be honest, right? Whether you're building a business, pursuing, a high income career, if you're not in real estate, or you're juggling personal, professional commitments, the question of balance always comes up. It's the number one thing that people ask me about, what this really looks like. And honestly, it's a very debated and hotly debated topic, because there's some people on one end of the spectrum who are like, we have to have all the balance and it has to be karmic and we have to make sure that we're putting time aside for all these things. And then you get the other side of the spectrum who are like, balance is for quitters. You can't have balance or you're a loser, and all this kind of stuff. And I actually listen to both parties, and I'm somewhere right in the middle. So how do you make all this work? How do you grow your business? How do you hit your goals and still show up as a good parent, a good spouse, a partner, a friend? How do you find time for your hobbies, the things you love, and relationships while building this business of yours and achieving six figures? Well, I'm here to tell you, it's not actually about achieving some perfect balance. It's just not. This is about creating the right proportions for your life and your goal. So let's step back for a second. Let's look at this. We have to actually redefine balance and look at what this actually means. So this kind of idea of balance, when I looked up the word, the one definition that stood out for me was this: a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. And the last part is where we're going to focus in on: correct proportions. This is where so many people get stuck who I talk to, because who's defining what the correct proportions are? That's what you have to ask yourself. When you think about work-life balance, are you letting a podcast that you listen to define the proportions for you? Are you listening to different YouTube channels? Are you listening to mentors? Is it friends, family, or even society? Maybe it's an old belief that you picked up years ago. Maybe you saw it from your parents growing up, what you thought balance was and what you thought the right proportions were to live that life. If you're watching this video, you're still trying to figure this out, because none of them actually fit the life that you want to live. See, here's the truth. The correct proportions for your life are defined by your goals and not someone else's. And this is where you have to start. When you really go on this journey and look at what the balance is like for you, you have to know where you're going. You can't be on this journey of just wandering, especially if you're trying to grow a business. You have to be clear on your goals. So the first step in creating this balance is to ask yourself, what is I actually want? What do I truly want? For me, I want to be able to help realtors scale their business and live a fulfilled life that they cherish and love. That's my number one priority in terms of business. So my goals for that require me to put in pretty long days to make sure that I am dialing in all the systems, processes, the communities that I run, the offers that I have, and build them out so they're running. But I'm a spouse, I'm a father, I do jiu-jitsu, I have friends, I have all that. So I put this in, and those things are equally as important to me, if not more. And I think where a lot of people mess up here is when you set goals for the year, you're only doing business goals. I want to make X amount of commissions. I want to sell this many homes. I want to do X, Y, Z. But you're not putting in, I want to spend this amount of time with my kids every day. I want to achieve this level of my sport or my hobby or what I do. I want to take my wife or my husband on 10 trips, whatever that looks like for you. So your goals are going to dictate what this balance looks like, right? If you think about business again, if someone else's goal is to help 20 people, right? If your goal is to be like, okay, I want to sell 20 homes this year, and someone else is like, well, I want to sell 100 homes this year, you're not going to have the same proportionate amount dedicated to that goal, right? It's not possible. If you're selling 20 homes, this person's selling 100 homes, you can't just do the exact same thing and this person will just have an expedited, result. It just doesn't work that way. but the balance that you guys are achieving are completely different, but they're proportionate to where you want to go. So this might be someone who's just focused on solely making this business work. I'm going to sell 100 homes. Well, they've proportioned a huge amount of their balance into that project, into selling 100 homes. If yours is 20 homes, you're putting the right amount of time into that, but you're also taking it out and putting it into other things. So your balance might mean spending more or less time working depending on what your goals are, and your goals are unique to you. So your version of balance has to reflect that. You have to stop comparing yourself to others and really think about what's a priority number one for you, because their priorities are not yours. The next step is balancing needs and wants, but we also have needs, which are the things that can't be ignored. Our family, our health, our relationships. So I want to help business owners grow, like I said, but I also need to be a great parent and a devoted partner. Sometimes I dropped the ball. Maybe I forgot to plan a date with my wife. Maybe I missed a school event. When that happens, I don't beat myself up about it or call myself a terrible partner or a terrible father. I just course correct. You know, every single airplane in the sky is off course 99% of the time, but they just keep redirecting like this. So you just have to course correct when that thing happens. And the key is to assess your needs honestly. Just ask yourself, how much time do these things actually take? Is it an hour a day that I want to spend, working out? Is it 15 minutes? Is it 2 hours? Once you know, you have to block that time, protect it, and make it quality time. So you have to make sure that all the goals that you have, you're aligned in how much time you're spending in each one. Because if you set up all these goals and you're just like, well, I'm just going to focus on this goal only for now, you might achieve this goal quickly, but you're missing out on all the other stuff you said you were going to do. So if you're feeling like there aren't enough hours in a day, I guarantee you that there's time that you're wasting. This might be scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, or getting lost in distractions of any kind. If you've got any kind of device, it's a distraction. And these comfort activities can feel great in the moment, but do nothing for your long-term goals or needs. And here's the hard truth. Here's the line in the sand. If you want to achieve big things and maintain a meaningful personal life, you'll need to make sacrifices. And most of the time, these sacrifices are the fluff, the things that don't serve your bigger picture. The apps, the screen time, the scrolling, the messing about, whatever it is, you have to really take a true assessment of yourself and say, okay, if I truly want to achieve these goals and put the time into these things, what do I need to take out? And if you do a real assessment, a time audit of where your time goes and an energy audit of where your energy goes, this will tell you black and white where you're spending it. It's just like a financial budget. Track your time and energy for 2 weeks and you'll find what those things are that you can pull out and add in more stuff that gets you closer to your goals. So here's what I would suggest that you want to do. Write down your goals. What do you want to achieve in your business, your personal life, your fitness, your health, your family, anything and everything, right? I typically deal with 4 parts of life. I do vitality, which is my health, my wellness, working out, all that good stuff. Then I do identity, which is who I'm trying to become, spiritual life, my mission, my values, my core beliefs. Then it's my affinity, which is my relationships, my wife, my 2 boys, my friendships. And then the last one is prosperity, which is everything business related, finance related, everything goes in there. So I have goals across all 4 of those. But when you write these down, you have to be specific. List your non-negotiable needs. These are the areas where you can't afford to drop the ball, right? For me, that's family. Can't afford to drop that ball. My health, I can't afford to drop that ball. Because if I'm not healthy, everything else just starts to crumble. The key relationships you have, like what are the things that you absolutely cannot drop the ball on, non-negotiable. Identify that. And then you want to identify the fluff. Look at where your time is going and get brutally honest about what you can cut to make room for your goals and needs. And once you have all these things, these lists, it's just all about execution. Because here's the deal. Balance isn't about perfection. And this is where I think at this end of the spectrum with the people who are like, work-life balance is bullshit and that's a quitter mentality. They're thinking about balance as like this even thing where like everything has an even amount of energy displaced to it. And it's not. It's imperfect. Balance is imperfect. If you think about it, if you see someone on a balance beam or whatever, they're never like perfectly, like completely rigid. They're moving, they're adjusting all the time. They're balancing. That's what it's all about. It's all about this movement, this journey into just keeping things moving, keeping things going. I know to lean on this side, I'm leaning on this side now. I'm backing up a little bit. This is what it is. That's balance. It's not about perfection. It's about being intentional with what you're doing. And in our case, intentional with your time. But let's be real for a minute here. Sacrificing comfort is hard. It just is. I like comfy things. You know, it's way easier to scroll through Instagram than to have an honest conversation with yourself about your priorities. But if you're serious about building wealth and living a meaningful life, you've got to get uncomfortable. The life that you want is on the other side of discipline and focus. So here is my challenge for you. What are you going to give up to achieve your goals? That's the big question here. What is the stuff from your life where you can eliminate so you can fill it in with the things that are now priorities to you so that you can live this balanced life? I would love to know what the things that you have to take out of your life in order to fit the things that matter in. Just remember, balance is a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. So you need to figure out the proportions of time and energy spent on the things that matter to you, your goals, get rid of everything else, and this is how you're going to live a fulfilled life, and you're going to be able to scale a business that makes multiple 6, even 7 figures. If you want a simple 10-step process to figure out what proportions you have to put into your business in different points, then you can download my checklist of 10 steps to become the CEO of your business in the links below. It's a free checklist with a bunch of training videos in there as well that you can have. It's helped a lot of people so far. So download that. I would love to hear your thoughts on that too. And we'll see you on the next one.